Buttons. So these are kind of interesting. On one side, there's a pin, and the pin goes through your clothes and it holds the button on. And you might wear a button to support a sports team. You might wear a button that says vote for Justin Trudeau. Like if you support a certain candidate in an election, you might wear a button because you want other people to know that's who you're voting for. But buttons are kind of interesting. You can hurt yourself when you put a button on. You don't want to accidentally poke yourself because, yeah, the back is this interesting. It's like a needle pin kind of goes through your clothes and then snaps on. I did wear a button once at school and it had a magnet on the back. So that was nice. That was a little safer. I think that was a button. Shoes. Someone mentioned this. Some people like to collect shoes. Some people simply like to collect shoes because they like to wear them. Some people like to collect shoes that maybe are connected to a certain athlete and they don't wear them. They just put them on display. I don't collect shoes, but I guess I do have a shoe collection. I have my good pair of running shoes, my walking shoes, my farm running shoes, my old running shoes. I think I have 5 pairs of running shoes because I like to walk. And I actually like to wear a different pair every other day, but I wouldn't call it a collection. Michael Jordan, Lionel Messi has it. None of them have signed my shoes. I just have basic shoes. Actually, I have these shoes right here. They're Asics. That's the exact shoe that I have. Is it really? Is it really? Yes, it really is. This is, we're going to have twin day at school. We have a day where like 2 teachers dress up wearing the same clothes. It's usually midway through the year. So this year on twin day, I'm just going to bring my bobblehead. That'll be fun. Comic books. This has become quite popular. You can go to comic book stores. There are stores that buy and sell comic books because there are a lot of people that collect comic books. Comic books are any book that tells a picture, tells a story through pictures and words. So there are some really cool comic books from different countries, and people love to collect them. So I myself do not have a comic book collection, but I do have several Tintin comic books and a few Asterix and Obelix comic books. Very nice. Also, there's like Superman and Batman and all those. If you're a musician, you might have an instrument collection. If you play guitar, you might have a guitar collection. If you play violin, you might have 4 of them. Probably not, but maybe. It's probably more likely with guitars. If you play piano, you probably don't have a piano collection. But if you have enough money and if you have a place to put them, and if you like guitars, you might have a guitar collection. Certainly, if you're in a rock band and you're a guitarist, you might collect guitars. Watches. So you can collect all different kinds of watches. Right now, it's becoming popular to collect digital watches from the 80s. It's very popular for people to find old Casio watches and try to get them working again. Some people collect expensive watches. Maybe you collect cars and Rolex watches. If you are someone who has that much money, I have my Fitbit. This is the only thing I wear. It was $129. That's it. I'm not buying any more. I do have a Fitbit collection though. I have 3 because 2 are broken. So over the years, the first one I smashed while working on the farm. Then the second one, I don't know what happened, but I think I hit it against the wall at school and it ended up cracking and doesn't work anymore. So I have a collection, 2 that don't work and 1 that works. But anyways, some people like to collect watches or old timepieces. Handbags. So maybe you really like Gucci or you like Yves Saint Laurent. Do they make bags? I don't know who all makes bags. I'm not obvious. Wait, there's an Yves Saint Laurent at the top there, isn't there? Maybe you like handbags. You might call this a handbag. You might call this a purse, depending on the size. Jen does not actually collect handbags. I'm thankful because handbags are not cheap. They are very expensive. but maybe you enjoy collecting handbags or purses, things that you can put things in when you go out for the day. Books. So when we talk about collecting books, sometimes people will collect books in the sense that they buy books and read them and put them on a shelf. So if you read science fiction, you might have a huge collection of science fiction books, but some people just collect old books. They like buying old books. So we don't usually call them antique books, but like similar to antiques, people like buying old books. And old books almost always look like this when I imagine them. They're usually brown and faded, but they might be looking for the first edition of a certain book. So maybe they're looking for the first edition of a Sherlock Holmes book because they know it's very valuable and they want to buy one because it's worth money and they want it in their collection. People collect art. You do not have to have a lot of money to collect art, although if you have a lot of money, you can collect more expensive art. But if you enjoy having things on your wall, interesting paintings that people have made, you might collect art. So you might go to an art show, you might go to an art gallery. There might be an artist that you really, really enjoy, and you might buy a work of art from that person to add to your art collection. I should have some art, shouldn't I? Maybe that should be the thing I do. Maybe I should spend a little bit of money every other year on art. I have trouble spending money on things that don't do anything, but I guess art does, right? It makes you feel good. It makes you appreciate life. Maybe I should collect some art. For those of you who are artists out there, leave a comment below. Video games. Some people collect video games. Some people like collecting the consoles, which is the device that plays it, or they like collecting the cartridge, which is the thing you put in. I do not think I will be doing that. I don't know. Maybe I will collect video games someday. I played a lot of video games as a PC, on a PC. I didn't always play console games, but it would be fun to buy some old consoles. I'll have to think about that. Some people collect wine. Sometimes they drink the wine. Sometimes it just sits in their wine cellar. So maybe you really like wine. Wine is an alcoholic beverage made from grapes. So they grow grapes in a vineyard and eventually they will make wine. And some people like to collect wine and put it in their wine collection. They have a little wine cellar or an area in their house where they keep the wine. And every once in a while, they open one and drink it. Action figures. So action figures are small little toys, usually related to comic books. So if you like the Avengers, you can buy a Thor action figure. If you like the X-Men, you can buy a Wolverine action figure. If you like Superman, you can buy a Superman action figure. They are things you can buy, that little toys you can buy that are from the comic books you like to read, or the cartoons you like to watch, or the movies you like to watch as well. I don't have any action figures, so maybe someday. And then lastly, bobbleheads. So again, a bobblehead is something like this. The head moves because there's a spring in the back. It's usually made to represent a person in real life. So you can buy bobbleheads of sports figures. You can buy bobbleheads of movie stars. If you have really nice fans, they get a bobblehead made for you and sent to you. So I have my little Bob the Canadian bobblehead. But yes, bobbleheads, little figurines where the head moves on a spring and bob.